AGamer here, and with the new season comes the new meta.
Touch mine.
Let's just jump right down into it. Healing Signet. You can switch this off for mending, but the moment you pop this off, you're basically going to have to rely on something else. Either it's your shield, your Mega Bane Tether for healing, because that 12 seconds is killer. It heals a lot, gives me an extra 10% damage boost, and actually removes some of my Condi, so if I'm getting pressured, pop this off, kind of run away. But it's very conditional, but it actually heals. It heals more than Healing Signet in terms of just output, but I'm still using the Healing Signet because it's passive. I don't have to worry about it. Resistance for 6 seconds if I pop it off, if I'm getting heavy pressure by or Necro, if I have to just get rid of that blindness so I can finally hit him. So I use Healing Signet instead. Shake it off, removes my Condis, 6 of them, and removes everybody else's as well. 50-second recharge timer is a killer, especially if I don't have this available to me when I need it. It's gonna kill me, especially since it's my only stun break, basically. Signet of Stamina, I'm running the strength line, so every time I dodge, I do an extra hit, and sometimes I crit for 2k. Very useful for getting around those guardians with blocks, especially when they're down. It's just a sliver of health, so I dodge into them, kill them, easy. I love that 50% endurance regeneration. It gives me my endurance fairly quickly, and if I'm getting pressured by Condis, pop it off, all my Condis removed, gain some of my endurance back, then I get out of there. Bull Charge, I use this for everything, running away, attacking. Actually, basically that's the only two things I use it for. 3-second knockdown, removes my immobilization, gives me 10% extra damage, and it does a lot of damage if it connects. A lot of damage. Rampage, this is my ace in the hole, my trump card, whatever you want to call it. As soon as I pop this off, I'm going to be having stability, I have swiftness, I do extra damage, I do a lot of damage, and I have stuns out coming out of every single area of me. So this is basically a lot of damage, really quickly, stuns. Yeah, powerful stuff. So with that said, let's move on to my equipment. We got the Great Sword, Dagger, and Shield combo. On the Great Sword, we got the Sigil of Agility, Sigil of Annulment, Sigil of Cleansing, and the Sigil of Energy. I'm actually very disappointed with the current change, or rather in the current patch, because they did say the Sigil of Absorption was gonna have sealing 3 boons rather than 1. I was really excited, but it turns out in the PvP it stays at 1. So all those changes for runes and sigils, they vary depending on which one they are, and I was very sad. So, going on. The Great Sword, I'm using Sigil of Agility, Sigil of Annulment, because I do want to have the Boon Strip, and I want to have that quickness. That quickness makes a huge difference when I'm popping off 100 Blades with a stun. When I have a little bit more Condi Cleanse, and 25% of my endurance is returned every 9 seconds. Every time I switch to my Dagger and Shield, I have my 25% of my endurance returned, and that's an easy dodge, easy hit. Rune of Strength and Demolisher Amulet. You can switch this off for Berserker if you feel a little bit more damagey. If you can dodge those attacks, if you can block them, by all means you'll be doing about 4k damage extra. For instance, every time I use 100 Blades on a Golem with Demolisher Runes, I do about 8k, and with Berserker I'll do about 12k. So you can give a rough estimate of how much damage that's outputting. So with that said, moving on to the last thing, the traits. Alright, so the trait line, the Strength, the Discipline, and of course the Spellbreaker. Strength, we got the peak performance because I want to have all my physical attacks being quicker, meaning on my Rampage I get to throw my rock twice. If I throw it off almost immediately and then rush and then etc, I can actually throw it off again. As well as my Bolus Charge has a reduced cooldown every 24 seconds, and on top of that, Rampage is only 72 seconds, gives me 10% extra damage. It's lovely, and actually that falling damage reduction and the death from above actually does come in useful when I'm fighting on maps that actually have the ability for me to use that. Forceful Greatsword, I want my recharge reduced in my Greatsword as fast as possible, so 20% is going to be a lovely. That might's going to be healing me, giving me more damage, and overall, my sword just does more damage. I can't complain. Might makes right. This is the reason why I stay alive every time I pop off my Mega Bane Tether. I gain healing 133. Actually adds up relatively quickly, and my endurance is gained back. So not only do I dodge more, I hit more, and I stay alive longer. Discipline, we got the Warrior Sprint because I want to remove my mobilization. I want to do more damage every time I have swiftness, and then just overall, mobility is very important, so I run around a lot faster. Brawler's Recovery, extra Condi removal, which is amazing. Burst Mastery, every time I pop off my burst, and I want to be having my adrenaline up as fast as possible, so having 33% restored back to me is an essential, giving me swiftness, so I do more damage with, of course, Warrior Sprint, and 7% extra damage. I can't complain. Guard counter, that protection kind of makes a difference. I have noticed some significant in my sustain, but if you're feeling, like I said, if you want to do more damage, Pure Strike's the way to go, because it's simply 7% extra crit damage, and if they're boonless, 14%. It makes a difference, that 14%. Loss aversion every time I remove boons, and do have a lot of stuff that does remove boons. I damage them, I gain some of my adrenaline back, and it's even unblockable. So if they're just a sliver of health left, it's just a sliver of health left, I'll be able to damage them and kill them. And the last but not least is actually one of the most important parts of my build, Mega Bane Tether, because that might heals me, gives me my endurance back, it reveals any opponents, so mesmers, thieves, I don't know what else, some other form of stealth, and damage increased to my tethered target is actually 10%, so if I just hit them off, I go down, they can still fight my target, do extra damage to it, just more all around. Amazing. So that is my build, and at the end I do have a small montage. However, it's not really per se during this season because I haven't really gotten time to get footage, so look out for that.
Check your body. Let's not sleep together. You can sleep neither. Let's not sleep together. You can sleep neither. Let's not sleep together. Check your ball. Check your ball. Check your ball. Underground. Check your body, check your body. Let's not sleep together. You can sleep neither. Let's not sleep together. You can sleep neither. Let's not sleep together. Check your ball. Check your ball. Check your ball.
secured the pier. You've lost the market.